Asterisk James Ellison had built everything from the ground up. He wasn't born into money, he didn't go to Ivy League schools. He was the son of a single mother who cleaned motels by day and waitressed by night. Every dollar she saved, every lesson she taught him about dignity, about standing tall in silence, he carried with him. Now, in his late 40s, James was the CEO of one of the fastest growing tech firms in Silicon Valley. But today, that success didn't matter. Asterisk, it started as any other business trip. He had booked his ticket 3 weeks in advance, first class, aisle seat, front row. He needed the legroom, the space to decompress before a high-stakes meeting with international investors. He arrived at the airport dressed in a crisp navy suit, briefcase in hand, with a calm confidence that came from decades of achievement, asterisk as he settled into his seat, nodding politely to the elderly woman beside him. A flight attendant approached. She smiled tight, practiced, and leaned in close, asterisk, "Excuse me, sir," she said in a hushed tone. "We're going to have to ask you to move to another seat. We've had a priority upgrade request." Asterisk James blinked, unsure he'd heard correctly. "This is my seat," he said, calmly showing the boarding pass on his phone. Asterisk, "Yes, I see that," the attendant replied quickly. "But we have a VIP guest, he's a frequent flyer, and, well, we've prepared something more accommodating." "For you in business class?" Asterisk, he looked at her face. No apology? No respect. Just an expectation that he'd quietly comply, asterisk James glanced around. The passengers in the rows behind were beginning to watch. Whispers started. A few phones were lifted. He leaned back and asked, softly but firmly, "Would you have asked me to move if I didn't look like me?" Asterisk, the attendant froze for a second then, offered a brittle smile and said, "Of course not, sir." "It's not personal, it's procedure." James didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He simply remained seated, staring straight ahead. But within minutes, 2 other crew members arrived. One of them, a male supervisor, spoke more firmly. "Sir, if you don't comply, we may have to delay departure. Please don't make this difficult." The plane fell silent. Passengers began filming. James stood up slowly, adjusted his jacket, and said, "I'll move on one condition. I want the name of your supervisor, and I want everything you just said repeated on camera." The male supervisor's face went pale. He looked into the lens of the phone someone was holding 2 rows back and stiffened. "Sir, we're not trying to cause any issues." "You already have," James replied calmly. He picked up his bag and walked down the aisle, escorted like a child being relocated at a school play. The crew smiled and laughed with the man who now took James's seat, a white, stocky businessman with a gold watch and smug expression. James was placed near the rear of business class. Still comfortable, but not what he paid for. He didn't complain, he didn't make a scene. But he typed something into his phone, something that would change the lives of everyone on that flight. The plane landed 3 hours later. James walked off first, not out of privilege, but because he'd risen and left before the seatbelt sign had even dinged. He made one call to his legal team, what the crew hadn't known, what even most of the passengers didn't recognize, was that James's company was in a strategic partnership with the airline's parent conglomerate. In fact, his signature was on the vendor agreements that powered the airline's new customer service AI platform, within 5 minutes of landing. A video was posted on his company's internal Slack, a clip from the plane showing the crew demanding he move. James didn't add commentary. He just posted, "This is what we call partnership." Within 15 minutes, the video was on LinkedIn. Within an hour, it hit Twitter, now X. Within 4 hours, it was on the homepage of 3 major news sites. The public response? Furious. Hundreds of thousands of retweets. Hashtags trending, celebrities chiming in. Major investors texting James, asking if he was okay. One even asked if he wanted to start his own airline. The airline's PR team scrambled. They issued a standard apology. "We're investigating the incident." But it was too late. The next morning, the airline's CEO called James personally. She was breathless, panicked, apologetic. Mr. Ellison, I want you to know how deeply sorry we are. This is not who we are. James remained quiet. We've already started disciplinary proceedings. The crew in question has been placed on indefinite suspension while we conduct a full review. James said nothing. Mr. Ellison, we value you. Your company, your leadership, your presence on that flight should have been honored. He finally spoke. Don't fire them for me. Fire them because this will happen again to someone without a platform. Fire them because you're afraid of who I'd be if I stayed silent. That same afternoon, the airline announced that the 3 crew members involved had been terminated, not quietly, publicly. They cited a breach of protocol, mishandling of customer service, and conduct unbecoming of brand representation, but the story wasn't over yet. James returned to his office later that week and met with his board. Investors were still calling, praising how he handled the situation, but James had something else in mind. He stood before his executive team and said, this isn't just about me. This is about how often dignity is optional when your skin isn't the right color. He pulled up a slide, the Equity Flight Fund. A new initiative, $10 million to start, that would provide legal support, public advocacy, and emergency media response for individuals experiencing racial discrimination in travel, hospitality, and public transport. His board approved it on the spot. Within 2 weeks, 3 major airlines reached out to partner, and James. He never flew that airline again, but the seat he gave up became more than a seat. It became a message. Respect is not a privilege, it's a right, and when you remove someone from their rightful place, don't be surprised when the whole world finds out.